Hello everybody, I'm Jamie from the Haliburton County Public Library and welcome to another Thursday Maker Break. Today I thought we'd get a little crafty again, and I thought maybe I could show you a fun way to display some of your favorite photos, a decoupage photo frame. So let's head on into the makerspace and get started, shall we? Okay everyone, I just wanted to show you all the materials that you're going to need in order to make this super awesome decoupage photo frame today. First and foremost, obviously you're going to need a photo frame, something to cover with our decoupage. So this is just a photo frame I got from the dollar store. It's made of wood, I think. Might be fake wood or plastic, I'm not sure. And either way, it doesn't matter. Any type of material will work for this. You can use metal, you can use a wood one, you can use glass, you can use anything you happen to have kicking around. So I think this one's going to work okay. You are going to need some printed napkins. They can have an actual image on them, or they can be sort of abstract, whatever you like the best. You are going to need a soft bristled brush. You're going to need some Modge Podge or decoupage glue, again, readily available. And optionally, you can also use a hot glue gun and some glue sticks, and I'll show you what we'll do with those here in a minute. So those are the materials that you're going to need to make this project today. So let's move on to the next step. Alright, so the first step is completely optional. First thing we're going to do is, if you like, you can actually take your flat photo frame and give it a little bit of texture or dimension using your hot glue gun. So as you can see here, I've just used a pencil to mark out some designs on the outside of the frame here. And I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and I'm actually just going to follow these designs to give it a bit of a raised surface. So when we do our decoupage, it will be raised and it will be textured. So we're just going to take our hot glue gun here and we're going to load it with some fresh glue, and we're just going to actually create some designs. I'm going to go right over here, the designs that I made on my frame, kind of adjust as needed, and then wait for the glue to dry before we do our decoupage. So that's what we'll do here. And the great thing about this is it's just hot glue, so if you make a mistake, you can wait for it to dry and just pick it off. So now you can see I've got the edges of my frame all decorated, and all we want to do is wait for that to dry so it's nice and hard. And then we're going to clean up some of the spiderweb strings that are inevitable with a hot glue gun. And then we are going to start our decoupage part. So I will meet you back up and show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to prep the napkins that you're going to use in order to do your decoupage. Now, because napkins themselves, these cocktail napkins, it will work, but it's a little bit too thick and you won't get the image transferred over properly if you don't do this. So you want to prepare the napkins you're going to use. So you take your napkin and you basically want to, at a corner or at an edge, you want to separate it you'll see that there are usually 2 or 3 layers to the napkin. And basically you just want to peel it apart like this. And we're going to be using just this outer piece for our decoupage. So you want to peel them apart. Try not to rip it. It's not going to matter if you do a little bit because we're going to have to tear it apart to put it on the frame anyway. But so as you can see here, I've got this napkin had 3 separate parts, 3 layers, and it's just this outer layer that we're going to use for our decoupage. So you actually want to prepare a couple of your napkins so that when your glue's wet, you're ready to go. You just want to tear them apart just like that. So I'm just going to do that with a couple more, and I will meet you back up here in a minute. Alright, so now that we have our materials all prepared, we are ready to start our decoupage. So the first thing you want to do is actually take apart your photo frame so that we're getting rid of the back or the glass part here so we don't get any of our glue or whatever on it. So I'm just going to take this out. So all we have here is just the frame part, and that's going to keep the inside from getting messed up when we start here. So the first thing I want to do is put a little bit of my Modge Podge on a tray here. Just like that, or your decoupage glue if that's what you happen to be using. I don't have any of that currently, so I'm going to use some Modge Podge. And this is the image that we're going to be decoupaging onto the frame. Now as you can see here, I've got 2 different sort of images. I've got what's on the border of the napkin here, and then I have this image in the center. I don't want to double them up, so I'm going to, I think, just use this internal sort of abstract floral pattern is what I'm going to put on there. So I just actually want to tear my napkin, tear off the part that I don't want to use. There we go. Now I just have this sort of a floral pattern. Now what I want to do here is I've torn off a little chunk of my napkin here. I just want to lay this down. First, actually, I want to take some of the Modge Podge. You want to brush that on top of your image. Just like this. And you want to take your image and lay it down sort of flat over top. A little bit more Modge Podge here. And you just want to push that down and kind of stick it to your image. So you should be able to start seeing your design that you put on there, if you chose to do that, right through the image. So we just sort of dab it all down. Like that. Try and keep it from wrinkling as much as possible. I know that's a hard thing to do. A few wrinkles are going to happen. Just sort of press them flat if you can do that. And you just basically want to do this all the way over the frame. You want to cover your frame with your napkin pieces all the way around. Okay, you can see here I've got the front completed, and now I just have to do the back. You'll also notice I've changed the pattern here. You'll have to forgive me for that. The silver didn't show up very well on camera, so I had to swap to a different pattern just so that it was easier for y'all to see. Same method applies though. I just happen to change the pattern on this one. So basically we have everything I have the front of it all looked after, and now all I have to do is wait till this part dries completely and then flip it over and do the back. So that's what we're going to do next. Now, before we get started on the back here, I just wanted to point something out quickly. Because I've changed the pattern here, and the previous pattern, the silver one, was sort of abstract, it didn't really matter which way I put that one on the frame, but with this one, it's got a little less abstract of a pattern. It's got the sort of striped zigzags here. So you'll notice along, this is the way the napkins go, this is the way they actually look. So the strip itself has gone along here, but then along this part, basically what I've done is I've cut sections of the napkin so that I can keep up with the pattern all the way across. You don't have to do it this way, it makes it look a little more finished if you keep up with the pattern. Again, if you've got a napkin that's got more of an abstract pattern, it doesn't matter, but I just wanted to show you that that's what I did with this one, and you have that option as well. So let's get the back done. Alright, so as you can see here, I've got most of the back done, but if you'll notice here, I've left the inside because we want to make sure that all of the filling for the frame still fits. So what I'm going to do is just leave this until it dries, and then I'm going to go in with an X-Acto knife and trim the edges so that we still have room to put in our glass. So now we just have to wait for this to dry and trim it off. So that's where we're at now. Now you can see my photo frame here is mostly dry. Still a few little bit wet spots here, but we're mostly dry to the touch. So what I'm going to do now is take my X-Acto knife here and a ruler, and I'm just going to trim off all of this extra napkin here so that we have our inside like this, so we have it free in order to put our photo fillings back in. So that's what we're going to do here. And there we have it. All we have left to do is put back in our insides and our photograph. And there you have it, folks. One decoupage photo frame. Perfect for displaying your favorite pictures. That's all for me today, folks. Thanks very much for making with me, and I hope I'll see you all again next Thursday. Bye!